Hi guys, Stefan here, welcome back to the channel. Today it's all about mushrooms and we are making a vegetarian recipe. That's right, because we don't make enough of those. I'm sorry, I know, guilty as charged. But today we're gonna learn how to make stuffed mushroom, champignon farci, the way it's done in France. So we're gonna take these forest mushrooms of different size, you know, medium one, small one, maybe oyster mushrooms, and garnish them with that kind of little special stuffing full of mushroomy taste, and maybe add some cheese, some herbs, anything we can to make a delicious dish for all of you vegetarian. Let's cook. So the first question everybody may ask, what on earth is a duxelle of mushroom? Une duxelle de champignon. Well, put simply, it's a stuffing. It's a base stuffing that we use in a lot of preparation in French dishes. And so if you hear that thing, what is a duxelle? Basically, it is a mix of mushrooms, to start with. It's then cooked with a mix of onion, shallots, butter, finished off with parsley, and you can add a bit of lemon if you want. This is what a duxelle is. Alright, let's cook. So the first thing we have to do to prepare a stuffed mushroom, of course, is to prepare the duxelle of mushroom, la duxelle de champignon, which is that mushroom stuffing. So I bought my mushrooms. As you can see here, the first thing you're going to have to do if you do stuffed mushroom is to select the one you want to be used for the stuffing, the one that's going to be stuffed, like these ones. So you can see they've got that little cavity. And it's the caliber that I'm choosing. So anything that's large enough, I want to keep for my stuffing for my plate, I'm going to put on the side. The way it works, very simple. When you take a mushroom you think it's the right size, you usually move the stalk. The stalk should kind of detach itself automatically, and then you got that natural little spot you can put some stuffing on, and you reserve this on the side. All of these have been trimmed already, just a tiny bit to make them clean, and I've reserved all this. This is going to be for the stuffed mushroom, the pan fried, anything. All these ugly ones, the one that not looking that great, look at these ones, the big ones, trim everything off, and we're gonna put this in a food processor and grind them finely. So we don't care how they look like or whatever. The big ones, if you want to do big stuffed mushroom like this one, what you have to do, same thing, the stalk, you try to break it off. So sometimes it's a bit tough, force a little bit, not too much, the stalk detach. This bit here is going to have to be removed. You can use one of those and you can scrap, you can see, these things off. Only do this at the last minute because it tends to get black. So as an example, this is one that's been done. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. So you got that container kind of shape, ready to receive all the stuffing, all the stuff you want to put, and it's got a nice color on the other side. So you reserve the big mushrooms on one side, all prepared, and all the small ones and ugly ones in the food processor, ready to go. Alright, now that the mushrooms are ready, we're going to put them in the food processor. Now before you do so, make sure you thinly slice equal amount of onion and shallots. The ingredients are in the video description. So when your mushrooms are in here, food processor, give it a whiz. Done. This is what you get. This is the base of your duxelle. It's very dark, it's very thin, as you can see, ready to be used. Perfect, my prep is done. As always with cooking, always make your prep before you start cooking, so it's way easier. Just always make your life as easy as you can. I've got my mushrooms that are here trimmed and ready to be used and ready to be stuffed. I've got my thinly sliced mushrooms ready to be cooked for my duxelle. I've got a mix of onions and shallots together, some lemon that I'm going to use to add some lemon juice, and my butter. And now let's cook the duxelle. Okay, all ready to make our duxelle. First thing, you can take a medium heat on a pan. You start with your butter and you melt all of your butter. When all the butter is melted, you add your mix of shallots and onions. Equal part of onion, equal part of shallots. And we're going to let them sweat for 1 or 2 minutes on low heat in the butter. Okay, after 2 minutes, take all of your mushrooms and straight in. Doesn't get easier than that. When it's mixed well, you add a pinch of salt, not too much, pinch of pepper. You want some pepper because it's a stuffing, it has to be tasty, and a hint of lemon. Mix well. Done. Now you're going to leave this mix on low heat to simmer until it's totally dry, and that can take approximately 15 minutes. Perfect. When your mix is dry, like this, you make sure everything is nicely cooked. The last touch, you add a little bit of parsley, of chopped parsley. It's up to you on how much you put in, but usually that's the kind of amount I put in. Okay, you mix well, and that's it. You've basically done a basic duxelle of mushroom. Okay, and this is the base we use for a lot of stuffing, and this is what we're going to be using for our stuffed mushrooms. Now my duxelle is slowly getting cold. I'm going to make a little garnish. Olive oil in a pan, high heat, and I'm just going to fry some forest mushrooms on the side. Lovely, all done. So when they're all done, you can just reserve them on the side in a small container. And now oyster mushroom, same thing. I'm just going to try to color the bottom to give them a little bit of color. So I'm just going to place them in my pan. Oh yeah, it's a mushroomy bonanza. Look at that. Bang. Oh yeah. Okay, when they're nice and toasted, put them on the kitchen towel. Alright, all done, and now we are here for the last part. I brush a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of my tray here. Step number one. And then I'm going to take my mushrooms that are empty, and I'm going to use some of the stuffing that I've made earlier. And basically you go around and you made that little mound, and this lovely little mushroom, when it's done, you place it there. For the big ones, same thing. You're going to try to put some stuffing, and additionally, if you want, you can add maybe a bit of tomato sauce or maybe some breadcrumbs on top, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So don't overdo it. It's still a mushroom. You want some stuffing, but not too much. When it's there, you place it here. Last but not least, if you have like fancy mushrooms like that, exactly the same thing. You can take a little bit of stuffing and bang, a little bit like this, make it nice, and you put it on the side. So you repeat the process until it's all done. Alright, so our stuffed mushrooms are now ready to be cooked in the oven, and I'm gonna cook them for 30 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius, which is about 340 Fahrenheit. If you want, as a last step, you can add on larger ones that may render too much juice, add a little bit of breadcrumbs to make them more interesting. So it's really up to you. The bigger ones, usually I tend to put a little bit of breadcrumbs to avoid too much moisture coming out. Alright, so our stuffed mushrooms are out of the oven, but as you can see, they look absolutely ultra super boring. And this is the problem with stuffed mushroom. They taste delicious, but they really look rubbish out of the box, like this. So basically, we're gonna try to do something with them, and I'm gonna show you how to kind of enhance the look and make something. So starting from that and trying to go to something that looks a little bit better. Alright, so let's get started. So first off, I'm gonna use a tray to do a kind of a platter, because that's how I like to serve them. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set up the scene, bit of color, bit of lemon, try to get everything in here, always good. Then maybe we're gonna start by adding some bread here, bit of olives, it's all vegetarian, and I'm just adding some little dips here and here. Artichokes, and this is my favorite, this special farmhouse goat cheese. Alright, so when you're here already, we're gonna start to just adding different size of mushrooms. You know, some little ones here and there, and you're just gonna basically kind of decorate your board. Try to accelerate because time is of the essence with these videos. But basically, there you got your mushrooms. So you got your base, looks a bit better, but of course, it's not that. One thing that's really good with mushrooms is a little dice of this goat cheese. I really love to use it. Absolutely brilliant. And you can put some here and there, up to you. Another thing you can do, one thing that goes really well with mushrooms is a little bit of tomato sauce, and this is a tomato paste. Really, really nice. It really adds something to your mushrooms, you see? And it's just these little bits of color here and there that really improve the whole experience. When you're here, Maybe you add a little bit of green on here, a little bit of dill. So I'm using dill to, because we started with dill, makes the whole thing a little bit more happy. There you have it. And I'm gonna just now drizzle a little bit maybe of oil on there. This is the olive oil from the cheese. So anything that looks a bit dry, I'm gonna make it more alive. There we go. And finish off maybe with this sprinkle of forest mushroom, so you can pick them at your leisure. Sorry, one is trying to escape on the side. One for me. You add a few sticks in here, and maybe in your mushrooms. You know, if someone wants to pick one, you have to start to have that kind of inviting look on your plate. Okay, and put more there and there. And there you have it. If you want to go even further, you can add a little bit of parsley to add a bit of color. And that's it. You're done, and you've made something which is really delicious. So I'm going to eat one of those that I've got on here. I'm afraid what the taste. And as expected, it's juicy, it's mushroomy, and it's really, really nice. But guys, that's my take on a nice plate for stuffed mushrooms. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make it at home and enjoy with your friends, especially if you're vegetarian. It's a delicious little plate to do. Alright guys, I'll see you next time on the next video. Have a good time.